Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Cheryl and this is Your Journey Yoga. And today it is Yoga 101, basics for yoga. So if you are just starting your yoga journey, if you've been exposed a little bit, haven't been exposed at all, welcome. And thank you so much for joining me in this. Yoga is an amazing gift. It's one that can really change your life if you allow it. It's not going to be some spiritual awakening. It's very different. It's a physical awakening. It's a heart opening awakening. It can be a spiritual awakening if that's what you're wishing for, but some people have a misconception of what yoga is. And yoga is taking care of yourself from the inside out. It is being mindful and present in your breath and in your movements. It is allowing yourself to create space in your joints, space in your mind, and an openness in your heart to forgive, to love, to let it be, and to let go. So we oftentimes carry so much stress in our lives, and we feel like to relieve that stress, we have to go a bazillion miles an hour to let it go. Sometimes that's true, but sometimes we need to slow it down. So yoga is allowing you to be present in the here and now in this moment. It lets us let go of everything beyond what's happening in this space right here and right here. So you may not have a block, you may not have straps, you may not have the props for yoga. It's okay. I have a soft, comfy blankie here. You can use a towel, you can use a pillow. For a block, if you don't have a yoga block, if you're like, what is a yoga block? You can find them anywhere, readily available. You can use a book if you don't have a yoga block. You can use a piece of Tupperware. Whatever it is, stability-wise, that's about the size of a large brick. Those are great. But today we're just going to keep it super simple, and we're going to use the blanket, the pillow. If you do have a bolster, perfect. Blanket, whatever you need. So you're like, okay, we've already been sitting here, and this is uncomfortable for me. If sitting Indian style cross-legged with those legs crossed is uncomfortable, I invite you to take your blanket, your pillow, your bolster, your block, whatever it is, and sit on it. So by lifting your bum, that allows us to open up through the hips a little bit. So you are in easy pose with those legs crossed, and you're like, who named this easy pose? Yes, it's not always easy, all right? So we're going to work to get to the point where it's easier. And we're going to roll those shoulders up and back. You guys, this is going to be super gentle, and it's going to feel super good. So if you've been doing yoga for a while and you're like, I just want to go back to the basics, I want to have a nice, really gentle day, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. Let those shoulders slowly release, and we're going to bring our hands down by our sides. Now with your bottom elevated a little bit, you might have a little extra room, so I'm just going to flex my wrist, and I'm going to press my palm down towards the earth as I lift my crown of the head, top of the head, towards the sky. So in yoga, we work posture. We work strength. We work flexibility. We work mobility. We work core strength. So anytime that we are doing anything, our core is engaged, keeping us centered and safe. Let's close the eyes and keep pressing those palms down and just focus on your breath. One of the biggest pieces of your yoga practice to help let go of stress and tension is your breath. Allowing the belly to be soft, fully inflating those lungs as we inhale. And then we're going to do our very best to do an audible exhale to the count of 4, making that exhale as long and slow as possible, drawing that belly button in and up, activating that diaphragmatic breath. So this might feel very foreign. These big, full, deep breaths, working to create that count of 4, keeping your eyes closed, just present in your breath. Gently pressing those palms down toward the earth as you lift the crown of the head to the sky. So you might cough, you might feel a little lightheaded. It's a lot of oxygen coming into the body. And a beautiful release of negative energy. So the breathing in and out, that diaphragmatic breath, breathing in and out through the nose, sending messages to the nervous system that it's okay to relax, to get ourselves out of that fight or flight response and be calm. Welcome to yoga. Gently open those eyes, and as you exhale, a little lean of your head to the right, just gentle. Breathe. We are always gentle and kind, though it may be challenging, and you're like, is this really being gentle? You be the judge. So no one is present in your body but you, so you've really got to listen to and be mindful of the movements that you make. We want them to be kind, and kind means they are good for your body. Gently lifting your head back to neutral, and then exhale, gentle lean to the left ear over the left shoulder. So always checking in. Can I breathe slow and steady? Is there any part of my body that is fighting this? If so, can I let down that guard? And if not, adjust so that you can let down the guard and that pain is gone. We don't want ever to be pain. Recognize the difference between the discomfort of a good stretch and the discomfort of pain. We don't want pain. Inhale, head up back nice and tall, and a gentle lean of the chin forward, stretching down the spine, starting at the base of the head. So you're checking in. Are you noticing those hips? If you're not noticing them, that's great. If you're noticing them, is it inside or outside? So the outer hip or inside? And I want you to see if you can send your breath to that area. Inhaling, head up nice and tall. And we're going to transition. So sweeping your feet off to one side, we're going to come up onto the knees. So if your knees are sensitive, you can pull your mat back in and on itself. So if you're on a hardwood floor or you're on tile, you can create a little extra padding by pulling the mat in and back on itself and just bringing your knees up to that multi-layer of your mat. Otherwise, we're going to come up to tabletop. Hands are shoulder width apart. Knees are hip width, core is nice and strong. We're going to come into cat and cow. So as we come into cow pose, we're going to slowly lower the belly down towards the earth as you lift your gaze and your sit bones to the sky, creating an arc in your back, keeping that core strong. And then as you exhale, lift your spine towards the sky, tuck your chin and tuck your tailbone. So being mindful of your back. So if range of motion is an issue for the back, do not force things to happen that are not ready to happen. And we inhale it back to cow. And then exhale, visualize an angry cat. Spine lifting towards the sky, tucking your chin, tucking your tailbone. Let's do 2 more each direction, just moving with your breath. One more each direction. Coming back to a neutral spine. Core strong. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to slide the fingertips and the toes out and away from us. Left hand, right foot. So opposition. We're going to work to keep the pelvis level, so we're not opening out to the side, but keeping that pelvis level, and we're lifting out of that right shoulder. And then pull it back in. Other side, right arm and left toes. We just sweep those toes back and fingertips reach out and pull it back to tabletop, alternating again. Left arm, right leg, fingertips and toes, and pull it back in. Core staying strong. Other side. So this is a modified spinal balance or bird dog. Again, left arm and right leg, and pull it back in. And once more, right arm, left leg, and pull it back in. Now, if you are taking special care of your knees, I invite you to place your blanket, your bolster, whatever you have, back behind your knees and sit it back to child's pose. If you've got great range of motion in those knees and you don't need that support, don't need to put it back there. And we're just going to allow ourselves to sink in. Now, maybe the shoulders don't love this. You can stack your hands or you can stack fists. If the shoulders are like, no, I love this, go ahead and extend those arms out. And just feel that great stretch from your fingertips all the way up to your sit bones. So one of the things I love about a blanket or a towel is that you can unfold it and make it a little bit smaller till the point where you take it away. So you can make it as thin or as thick as you need it to be. The more you kind of put it behind your knees, the more support it's going to give. So more if it's kind of down by your heels and just below your tailbone, a little less supportive for those knees. So drawing it in towards that knee joint if you need a little extra. Inhale, lift just slightly and walk your hands to the right. Reaching through your left fingertips as far as you can reach, up and out, kind of in a diagonal line. And then we're going to press the hips to the left as you release your upper body down. So we're stretching all the way down that left side. So you can walk it out as far as you wish, but just be nice. So listening to the body. Again, always gentle and kind, right? So always keeping that in mind, always doing that check-in with each place we come to, each pose or each asana that we come to. Make sure that, yep, the body and the mind are in agreement that this is a good place to be. Walk it back through center to child's pose. And then lift slightly and walk it to the left, reaching through your right fingertips, reaching it up and out in a diagonal line. And then we're going to press our hips to the right just slightly, creating that really nice stretch all the way down that right side, through the arm, through the ribs, down into the waist. And let's slowly bring it back to center. Checking in. Child's pose is always a great place to check into. How are you doing? Physically, mentally, emotionally, making sure that we are not being too hard on ourselves. Because any kind of negative thoughts, that goes against everything we're trying to get done. We're trying to cultivate positivity, space, a release of tension, worry, anxiety, anything that's not going to serve us well today. And we're going to come back up. So those negative thoughts start to manifest in our bodies. So stress, tension, negativity, go ahead and slide on down towards the top of your mat. And we're going to open up those feet to about the width of your mat. Knees are bent, toes are slightly turned out, and we're just going to walk our hands forward. A forward fold. This feels so good in the hips, the groin, the lower back, and then just gently let your chin come down towards your chest. So we can let those hands rest here, or if you like a little more intensity, you can walk your hands forward. If all of a sudden you go for the intensity and you're like, why? Just pull it back. You can always adjust. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Starting at the tailbone, slowly roll it back up. Sitting up nice and tall. And again, inviting you to grab your blanket or your pillow or your bolster, sitting on it if you like. And we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, allowing those knees to open. Now your feet can be out and away from you, or you can pull those feet in nice and tight, whatever feels the best to you. And we're going to bring the hands, holding on to the ankles or the shins, and we're going to sit up nice and tall. Now you can take a hold underneath the feet. You can take a hold at the ankles, anywhere that feels good to you, and just sit up as tall as you can sit. Breathe. So this might be really challenging if you're like, man, my hips won't let go. Sit up on that towel. Maybe make it thicker if you need to. Grab 2 pillows if you need to. Take care of whatever you need to take care of, and breathe. Can you put a little smile on your face? Now we're going to pull those feet out and away from us just a little bit. So we're making more of a little diamond shape with the legs. And we're going to take a hold at the shins. We're going to take a big breath in, that cat and cow position. We're going to do it seated, pressing the tummy forward. And then exhale, hollowing, just a gentle placement of the hands. You're not doing a death grip on those shins. Inhale, press it through. And exhale, hollow, seated cat and cow. Inhale, press it through. Exhale and hollow. Again, inhale, press it through. And exhale, hollow. and sit up nice and tall. Let's extend that left leg out and cross that right foot up and over that left leg. If it is not going to cross, hips are a little tighter, you're just going to bring that foot in. So maybe it's down by your shin, maybe it starts to come up by your knee, maybe you can tuck it all the way in or cross. So lots of places to find where it feels right to you, and we're going to add a flex of that left foot, sitting up nice and tall. Breathe. So we're going to pull that knee in just as tightly as it feels good to you. We're going to go for a good stretch in that right hip. So if yours looks like this, perfect. Sit up nice and tall. Breathe. So we're not arching the back, but we're sitting up tall. If it works for you, wrap the crook of that left elbow around the knee and pull it in. Again, we're going for length. So we're sitting up as tall as we can sit. We are always promoting good posture. And how do we get good posture? We keep that upper and middle back strong. We keep the chest open. We keep a core strong. If it feels right to you, bring your hand behind you, prop yourself up, and maybe take your gaze out over that right shoulder. So if we're here, perfect. Sit up tall. So we're not hunching forward or hunching back with the tummy and chest collapsing. We're staying up nice and tall. And we're twisting only as far as we can twist to keep that tall posture. Making sure you're taking care of yourself. Never a competition. Yoga is never a competition. And gently release, extending that right leg, and we pull that left foot in. So maybe you have more range of motion or less on the left side. It is what it is, what it is. We're going to sit up nice and tall. We're not going to judge. We're not going to criticize. We're going to be like, okay, this is where I am today. This is exactly where I'm supposed to be today. Honor that. If you're able to pull in a little bit, you can be sitting up on that bolster, remember. So that's going to give you a little more range of motion. Take the intensity out of the hips a little bit more. If it feels right to you, cross left foot up and over. So maybe it's a little bit lower, but you're able to cross. Perfect. That's just range of motion in that hip joint. So we're working that mobility. As the days pass and we stay consistent, maybe that foot starts to move up. It's about progress, okay? Let go of that need for perfection. You're pretty darn good the way you are. But we always strive to make the very best version of ourselves. Wrapping the crook of that right elbow around your knee, pull it in. Sit up as tall as you can sit. So again, maybe the foot's on the inside of the leg. Are you flexing that right foot? Getting that hamstring stretch. We're pulling the knee in. Are you feeling that good stretch in that left hip? That's what we're going for. Flexibility in that spine, keeping length in that spine. We want to keep space between the vertebrae as we twist. And then gently release. Extend that left leg out. Flex your feet. Sit up nice and tall. So wow, hello hamstrings and calves, right? As we sit up tall and we work to make that 90-degree bend with our upper and lower body, oh my goodness. So if you need to bend your knees a little bit, this is a wonderful place. Slide that blanket, your pillow, your bolster, whatever, underneath those knees so that you can relax, but you can flex those feet. Okay, so that's going to give us a little bit of a bend, not quite so long for the hamstrings. And sit up nice and tall. So now if as you're sitting taller, you're like, oh, okay, they're stretching, they're starting to let go, you are welcome to start to lean forward. As you lean forward, we're going to hinge from the hips as opposed to bending from the waist. So knowing the difference, hinging from the hips, there's a pipe, if you will, that runs right along your hip joints, right? And we're just going to hinge forward from that hip. Okay, hinging from the waist, we start to collapse through the tummy and chest. So know the difference. Hinging from the hips, we keep the tummy and chest heading towards those legs. You're welcome to relax your hands and just relax the weight of your head down. Breathe. So all of a sudden you're like, oh, I think I can do a little bit more. That's where the beauty of the towel and the blanket, you can lessen. So maybe we roll it. Legs get a little longer, deeper stretch. As you're ready, we start to take it down even more. Lessening that space. All of a sudden, whoop, it's gone. And now you're like, okay, but I can't quite hinge as far. Perfect. Okay, so the legs are longer, and now we hold on and support, but we lengthen. So the progress comes, one, with the length of the legs, always keeping the length in your spine. Okay, so all of a sudden the legs are long, but all of a sudden, oh, we just have to bend from the middle back. We're missing it. So sit up tall and hinge from the hips. Breathe. Eventually, yep, walking down as far as feels right to you. You can also put your pillow in the belly to keep that length in the spine. So that's a great variation to help you keep that length and that hinge from the hips. You can use the hands to pull. You don't have to, but you certainly can. That feels really good. You feel that in your lower back. Feel that in your glutes, your hamstrings, your calves. You might even feel this in the soles of your feet. So depending upon how tight all the fascia and the muscles are in the back of the legs. So your fascia is soft tissue, that's connective tissue that surrounds all your muscles, your ligaments, your tendons, and it can get pretty tight, bound up, if you will. So depending upon how tight it is, you might feel this in the soles of your feet. And slowly walk your hands back up. You're like, that was way too long to hold that forward fold. Nah, forward folds are great for you. We're going to bend the knees safely. We're going to come back. So however you need to come back, if you need to roll to your side and lower down onto your back, that's absolutely fine. If you can slowly take it down and then pull those knees in. Hands to your shins, your knees, behind your thighs, wherever you like, and just gently pull your knees in. And we're going to rock side to side. Little rocks, nothing crazy. If you like it a little bigger, yep, you can take it a little bigger. Really, it's learning about your body, right? The things that are easy, the things that are really challenging, the things that are just, nope, not happening. And we celebrate the things that are easy, but we recognize we don't need those as badly as those things that are more challenging. Coming back to center, and we're going to place that left foot to the mat and cross the right foot over the left knee. If you're like, that's just not even happening, I just want you to come down and the leg is long and allow that foot, that right foot, to cross over the left leg, wherever it's willing to cross, and allow the knee to open. If you are able to get that knee across, or the foot across your knee, gentle press of that right knee out and away. You can physically use it with your hand to press, or you can just use the strength through your hip girdle to press that knee out. And gently release, placing that right foot down, left foot crosses. And again, option is to extend the legs and cross that left foot up and over the right leg, wherever it is, ankle, shin, knee, thigh, and then we start to bend. So the more we start to bend that right leg and draw the knees in, the more you're going to feel that stretch in that left side, that left hip, making sure your lower back says, yeah, this is a good place to be. Releasing that left foot, and we're going to open up those feet to about the width of the mat. Hands can be wherever you like, just kind of out of the way, and we're just going to rock those knees side to side, making this motion as big as you wish. So just rocking side to side, allowing the pelvis to shift as those knees gently fall. So we're not letting gravity just take a hold and letting them fall. We're actually physically moving them. We are controlling the descent. We are controlling the lift. We are controlling the rock. So here we're getting a little massage for those internal organs. We're creating some flexibility in that spine. Range of motion in the hips. Let's do one more. And come back to center. Heel toe those feet in, little mobility through the ankles. And now take it out. Heel toe those feet out, back out to the outside edge of your mat. Heel toe it in, mobility through the ankles. And out, coordination. How is that? One more time in. Extending that left leg out, right knee pulls in, right arm extends out to a T, left hand to the outside of the right knee, and just gently guide your leg across your body. So we're going to go as far as feels good to you. One of the beautiful things, if you like, you can use that blanket, that bolster, that block, and you can kind of prop it up underneath your knee for support. And just relax, completely relax. And turn and take your gaze out over that right arm. Now, if I offer you a suggestion, for instance, taking that gaze out over that right arm and your neck's like, I don't love that twist, just keep looking straight ahead or look the opposite direction if that feels better. Find a place where your body can let go of tension, where your breath can flow, and that you can feel that surrender into the stretch. And we're all made differently. And every time you step back to your yoga practice, it's going to be a little bit different, because when we step back to our yoga practice, we take with us how we slept the night before, what we had to eat the day before, emotionally how we're feeling, our stress levels. So all different kinds of things are going to influence our practice. So keep a sense of humor. Be kind, don't judge. Show yourself some grace. And breathe slow and deep. Let's slowly roll it back to center, placing that right foot to the mat, and just slowly slide your leg out. So if you have your blanket, if you have your block, whatever, transition it to the other side. We pull that left knee in. We take that right hand to the outside of the left knee and gently guide it across. So again, you can just kind of bunch it up. Doesn't have to be pretty. And then turn and take your gaze out over that left arm. Left arm's out to a T. If you don't need the block, you don't need the blanket, yeah, take it away and just let gravity do the work. So I'm just letting that right hand be really heavy, and I'm allowing that left hip to lift and opening the tummy and chest to the sky. Breathe. So the supine spinal twist is an amazing gift. A stretch among all stretches. It's so great. A place where we can literally wring out negative energy, where we improve digestion. We can feel a shift in our mood. We let go of things that don't serve us well. And then slowly, slowly roll it back. And we come to corpse pose. If you wish, you can slide the blanket, your pillow, whatever it is, underneath those knees, a soft bend in the knees. You can place the blanket underneath your neck at the base of your head to support. You can place it in the small of your back if that feels good. So you can play with it a little bit. I just want you to find a comfortable place. And if you're like, I don't even want it, just kick it off to the side. And breathe. Slow, steady breaths. Quieten your mind and just giving yourself a moment or two to breathe and to just simply be. As we have moved our body, maybe in an entirely new way as you've come to your yoga practice, take a moment and celebrate that movement, that ability, the breath, what you've learned, where you are right here and now. As we give ourselves permission to quiet the mind and the body, we assimilate all that we have done in our physical practice. Again, working to create the very best version of ourselves. So often that we feel we have to go super fast, 1,000,000 miles an hour every second of every day to be effective, productive, to be our best, to do our best. That when in fact, by taking time to breathe and to just be, we bring ourselves back to balance, to a place of peace, allowing ourselves creativity, opening doors to possibilities, to let go of tension and stress. Let's just take a couple more breaths right here. And as you're ready, gently drawing your knees in towards you, rolling to one side, using the strength of the arms to help you come back up. Let's find a seated position that feels good to you, and just check in real quick. Resting your hands, sitting up nice and tall, rolling those shoulders up and back, and letting those shoulders slide down and away. Close those eyes and take just a couple breaths. And then open those beautiful eyes. Inhale, reach to the sky. And exhale, pull your hands down to heart center. And I just want to say thank you for joining me today. I hope this was a wonderful session for you. I hope you learned a ton. I hope you feel amazing. And I hope you'll come back time and time again. Until the next time, my friend, light, love, and namaste.